Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Elden Ring walkthrough. So there are a few things I wanted to talk about here before we get started. First of all, someone suggested making a group password. I haven't really explained this. I usually play offline, especially when I'm doing the walkthrough, but I'm online right now to show this off. That's why there's a bunch of messages around. But if you come to this multiplayer option in the if you just press pause, this menu, press multiplayer, you have the option over here to set multiplayer and group passwords. So the way a multiplayer password works, I guess it explains it there on the side, but essentially this just makes it so you match only with people who are using the same password. And for the group passwords, it says you're more likely to see messages, summon signs, etc. from people using the same group password. But you can also identify easily which of those things are coming from the group that you're in, for one. But the other thing it does is if anyone using the same group password as you accomplishes like a major feat in the game, like beats one of the main bosses or just beats the game outright, it'll give everyone a rune buff temporarily. I think it's just like the normal 5% kind of rune buff. I might be wrong about that, but yeah, that's kind of a nice perk to have. So you can have multiple group passwords on at the same time. I would definitely recommend looking up other like larger, more widely known groups to throw in here. Like I know that some of the bigger Elden Ring YouTubers, like I think like VodiVidia has a group password. I'm pretty sure there's a group password for like the main Elden Ring subreddit, stuff like that. So go ahead and throw those on too, but you know, if you want to be part of the community, I guess throw on the ghost password too if you want. I don't know how many people are going to use it, but it's there if you want it. And then the other thing, one of the other things, pop over here to Hugh, reinforce a weapon again, and then I'm going to throw unsheathed back on this katana just because I feel like I'm kind of missing with sword dance a little too often and I look stupid. And that's the last thing I want to do. And then come over here to brother Corin, study incantations, and I recommend you pick up heal. It takes 12 faith. I think that's the same amount of faith as poison mist, which I showed you in an earlier episode we can use even though we don't have the requirements for it. Yeah, 12 faith for that as well. By just using that Flask of Wonders physic and slotting in a faith knot tier, because that's going to temporarily increase our faith level. So grab heal. If you notice the item effect there in the middle, heals HP for self and nearby allies. So that nearby allies thing is crucial. You can also grab urgent heal if you want, just to heal yourself. But the AoE effect on this is going to come in real handy here in this episode and in future ones. So I think that's it almost. Also, if you didn't get the seal the last time, when I told you to get the seal and get poison mist and all that, you will need a seal. But this is the easiest one to get, the finger seal, to be able to actually cast that heal incantation. So with that, I am going to switch to offline mode again just so I don't get invaded and rip my hair out. Alright, we are alone again, as it should be. So go ahead and warp to lake facing cliffs. We're just going to run down here and talk to Thops real quick. This isn't really part of his quest line, but he does have some new dialogue because we picked up an academy key back near that dragon in one of the last episodes. So if you try to give that to him, he's not going to take it because he's just a nice guy. But get some dialogue nonetheless. So just wanted to show that off. Then we're just going to run down this path here. summon the wolves to speed this up a bit. Unsheath for old time's sake. Did the wrong one for old time's sake. I just can't reach them. Alright. Have the Glintstone Craftsman's Cookbook 1. Smash that. Smoldering Butterflies. And then there's another guy. I think that's everyone. Alright, and then you can run down here to the Nomadic Merchant who we met before. He's going to have a cookbook for you. Can't remember off the top of my head which one it is. Obviously told you to grab it in one of the previous episodes too, but make sure you grab that if you haven't yet. If you still don't have a lantern, what are you doing with your life? Get that too. But with that... Hold on. Yes, jump up here. And you get a sacrificial twig there. And then if you just drop down and follow these cliffs that way, there's a spirit spring to get up here. But I am a very difficult person. So sometimes I'll sit here for like, I don't know, not an unreasonable amount of time, maybe like 30, 45 minutes or something. And just try to jump up here the really difficult way. It can be done. I can feel someone out there doubting me right now. That's only fueling me even more to do this. Wait, no, it's this way. Yeah, see? Easy as that. And so much more satisfying than using this dumb elevator that the game wants you to use. Be unpredictable. Alright, hop into here. We're going to fight. I don't even know what words to use to describe this enemy. Basically, like when you show your friend Dark Souls and then you see them actually play it for the first time, this is just like their character. So he's basically just trolling with the flail. He can heal once. Other than that, he's got 2 pyromancies to worry about. This one, very slow. Homing pyromancy, you eventually stop and do a huge explosion like that. And he's got just like a little short range burst. They both hurt a lot, I'm not gonna lie. See if I can get him to do the other one just so you can see it. That's not the other one. Stop running at me, you freak. Do the thing. Okay. I was standing in fire. Let's see how it is. This guy, man, like... You can do 3 things. You can swing the flail, and you can do 2 fire things. Your name is Thief of Fire. Let's see the fire. There you go. Now we put him down. All out of Estus. Alright, so kill him, and you get the Flame of the Fell God, which is going to be one of the legendary sorceries and incantations. They're like lumped together in the same achievement, same trophy, depending on your platform. So that's going to be one of like 7 or something. I don't know. I'll put it on the screen. With that out of the way, and run northwest here. Just kind of follow the path. What? Okay, just little dudes over there tried to ambush me. But the ominous music just freaked me out. There are a bunch of those little guys along this path, so don't stop in here for too long. Try to jump you, but I don't know what that creepy music was about. Same thing, there will be another group by this wagon, so just run by, grab the ballista bullets, or don't. We both know you're never going to use them. And then we take out this camp. Oh, I got more blue juice. Shouldn't have done that. That means more wolves. He likes using that attack more than the literal Thief of Fire. That's crazy. Anyway, grab the Fire Spur Me gesture. Fire Monk's Prayer Book. I love the idea of like looting a gesture. Like there's not even... It's happened before and like... There's only the one example in Dark Souls 3. You find a corpse doing the gesture, he just died like sprawled out and you get the sprawled out gesture. Like that kind of makes sense. You see someone do it and you're like, okay, I know how to do that now. But in this case, like you walk up to this fire and then you're like, I know how to do this now. I just want to eat my chest. Apparently he doesn't stop until I say. Good to know. Alright. Getting very easily distracted today. If you couldn't tell. So now we just want to run this way. There's going to be some big crabs around. Don't want to upset the big crabs, as you well know by this point. It's all poisonous, just stay on torrent and you won't actually get hit by it. Run past the baby crabs and there'll be a teardrop scarab up here. Try and kill it before it pisses off a big crab. Get the Ash of War Valve the Indomitable. And then we can warp over to Laskyar Ruins. First thing I'm going to do is grab this cookbook here, Glintstone Craftsman's Cookbook 2. You might already have that since we've been through here, but I made a comment about just leaving it alone for my own sanity, because for some reason in my notes I decided to grab it now instead of earlier. And then we're going to like, actually no, ignore what I was about to say. Should be easy since I didn't say it. Rest here. And then if you don't have the Faith Knot Crystal tier, slot it into your Wondrous Physic in at least one of the spots. Make sure you do that. Or if you have 12 Faith, you don't have to, I suppose. And then you also want to go to Memorize Spell. And throw on Heal. And then in your offhand or your main hand, doesn't really matter, it's up to you. Throw on the Finger Seal or whatever seal you feel like using. And then... avoid just the like center area of these ruins. You can kind of where that guy is. Don't go over there yet. We're gonna like swing wide over here, and these little wraith collar guys are gonna pop out of the ground. Have that rune, golden rune 3. Hop up here. Grab a ritual pot. It's fine as long as you're up here, but don't go any close to that gazebo for a second. And then one more thing over this way before we deal with that. You run downstairs. Definitely feels like there was supposed to be a boss in here, but that's fine. Get the Wraith Calling Bell. If you use that, it's basically just going to let you do the attack that those things were just using on us, where they shoot the little projectile at you. But anyway, now go ahead and drink that flask so that you can use heal. And then this absolutely horrific creature, in my opinion, the worst enemy in the game. As soon as it pops out, hit it with that AoE heal, it's going to do a ton of damage, it's going to stun it. Ideally, you get the follow-up crit. I got staggered out of it, but that's alright. If you haven't played this game before, maybe don't do that and just try to fight it normally with whatever your regular build is, and then like just understand why that's a terrible idea and you should never do that. For every single one of those revenants for the entire game, that is what I will be doing to kill them. You know, 1 or 2 of those heals and they are down for the count. Doesn't really matter. Pretty sure, actually, I'm sure I have it written in my notes later maybe, but I think that always does half their health. I think it might be a percentage based thing, because no matter where you're at in the game, there's quite a few of those guys posted up in one of the like latest areas in the game, and still just like a couple of those will put them down. So I think it does do half their health no matter what, but don't quote me on that. Anyway, warp to the Liurnia Lakeshore. And then I'm going to go to item crafting here, and we should have a nice stack of cracked crystals that we find in the tunnels where all those crystal miners are. So I'm going to make some of these. You can see down in the bottom right window under created items, I'm holding 18 out of 40. So you can only have 40 on you at any given point. You craft 5 at a time, so I'm just going to craft until I have that stack. And you don't have to do this, but this just makes catacombs a little easier in my opinion, having these around, because you can frenzy the imps, make them fight each other, and you get the recipe to make those from the cookbook that merchant right there sells. So once again, would recommend buying that book. Not going to fight any more revenants for a bit, so I'm just going to take the finger seal off. And then I think it's below, yes. Up ahead there's going to be like 2 jellyfish that mark the entrance to this cave that we're aiming for. This is not a catacomb, so I didn't really need to equip the darts, but we're going to a catacomb right after this, I think, so. Grab that golden rune 3. Random cave moss if you need it. There's going to be a bat around the corner. And we fought these guys before. Pretty slow, pretty simple, but watch out for all these poison projectiles. Use the iframes on the backstabs to avoid them when they're all grouped up. I would be upset if that backstab landed on me, I'm not gonna lie. kind of feel like a hacker right now. And there's a guy that like patrols around the corner here, so he might roll up, might not. And then that down there is like a golden rune 3 or 4. I'm probably not gonna hop down there just to avoid the poison. Feel free to grab it if you want, but not my jam, not gonna lie. Bring these lads down. And there's a big one off to the right that I honestly didn't think would come over here yet. And as you can see, has a real cool poison cloud ability that'll just thwart whatever attempts you thought you were making at avoiding poison. So now that I'm all nice and poisoned up, I guess we might as well go grab that golden rune. Am I bitter about it? Yes. That's kind of the end of the story. So if you didn't get poisoned, you can just hug this left wall. I'm just gonna assume everyone else is not a chump like me and is not poisoned right now. Oh, that felt nice. This guy's over here causing problems. Those glowstones. He just fell, alright. Golden Rune 4, yeah. See, this is... I mean, look how much fun I'm having down here. That's why you don't go for the Golden Rune. If you don't hop down there... Dude, there's so much gas. You just hop across this gap, and you can run down here. And then in this next cave... There's just going to be a bunch of those rot servant dudes, but they react very slowly to you being here, so I usually just run through. As long as you just keep moving, there's like no way they're going to actually pose a threat to you. Poison grease, and then you could pop a bolus, I guess, if you have one, which I don't. You can make one if you want. I don't know if this is really worth it or not. I'm going to do it anyway. So, this boss is a clean rot knight. Obviously, would recommend standing where there is not poison. Has some pretty nasty quick combos, and then is going to throw in some stuff like this, where all those golden spears pop out. And they have this one move where they'll kind of go into like a guarding stance and shove you out of the way, which kind of staggers you and lets them get some follow-up attacks pretty easily if you get like too overzealous with like long attack combos. That was the stance. They didn't follow up with the shove that time, but there you go. That's what that looks like. As you can probably imagine, that follow-up thrust will hurt. You don't have to imagine it anymore. I'm such a good teacher. You also have to worry about Scarlet Rot, which is significantly more troublesome than poison. Kind of does the same thing, just worse. And we also got poisoned again at some point. That's pretty sick. I didn't even notice that. You can backstab this thing too. Which I would love to do just for like some sweet revenge, but I'm just gonna put it down instead. Get the winged sword insignia. That makes you do more damage with successive strikes. So depending on how rapid your attacks are, typically might be worth using. Be very, very good, especially with some specific ashes of war, like you know, just anything that makes you attack really quickly. Gonna go ahead and rest and clear the Scarlet Rot because no one wants that. And then I'm gonna warp to Liurnia Highway North. First place we're gonna go from here is over here to the right. Maybe some catacombs down here, as you can guess by that statue there. Keep moving, obviously, through here. You can probably hear the little dudes trying to ambush. Got the Somber Smithing Stone 2s at the end, then you can backtrack and kind of just stick to the left this time. Grab those sweet, sweet mushrooms. And then catacombs. So now would be a good time to have these crystal darts equipped. Alright, go down here and then be ready to like roll off kind of at the last second onto this ledge. The Grave Glovewort 2. And then there's going to be this guy, and then immediately around the corner to the right there's going to be another one. I feel like if you frenzy him, it's not, yeah, this one's like not activated yet. But friendly reminder, when you do frenzy them, they're not fighting for you, they're just fighting anything. But it takes 2 darts to frenzy the imps. And since they're not fighting for you, it's also like not going to really accomplish anything unless there's multiple enemies in a room. This guy's got the big stick. These guys are kind of a problem. I am a problem solver. More Grave Gloveworts. Good time for a lantern, I feel. Okay. Yes. I am losing my mind. There's a guy up here. I can't remember when he would normally ambush you, but every time I see him, I'm just like, get down, because, I mean, tell me that's not a little funny. But, move on. Watch out for the pressure plate. There's going to be a guy right there. Wait for him to drop. And then use the arrows to kill him. Do the same thing with this guy. Oh, tough one. Alright, so I like to sneak in here. There's going to be an omen sleeping down here and another one like wandering upstairs. Even if you sneak, he's probably going to wake up when you get close, so go for 2 charged heavy attacks. There's a good chance that should be enough to stagger him. Get the crit, and he is pretty much dead after that. Discarding a Grave Glovewort 3. And up here you have a couple options. I tend to err towards the path of most resistance, because it's usually also the path of most chaos, and hence the path of most fun. So, sneak past him, frenzy you. I can get the lock on, frenzy you, and then let them just have a little free-for-all here. Watching these guys just throw the pots at each other is very funny to me. Use the distractions to get a backstab. Get some more charged heavies. Set up another crit. Easy as that. Grab a rune arc there. And then we can crack this bad boy open. I feel like I'm talking like a Midwestern dad today. Make sure you clear the dialogue, because otherwise you will not be able to lock on or attack. We love that mechanic. Get the Nox Mirror Helm, literally just a tinfoil hat. Lets you resist the influence of that 5G greater will two-finger nonsense. Frenzy that guy. Maybe. Deal with your buddy. Getting double teamed. Unreal. Plan B, we use the arrows. Where did he go? Just forgot. Alright. Memory of a goldfish. I can relate. More grave gloveworts. And then got 3 of them in here, so prime opportunity for this and that. We get down 2. Smooth moves. Outplayed. Simple as that. Grab the scythe there and flower, why not? It's almost Mother's Day. Forgot you were there. This is why I was just slapping that wall earlier, by the way, because I was like thinking it was this one, because there's a loot back here. But unfortunately for me, it was the wrong one. Alright, drop down here, and we are going to... Well, there's a couple ways you could play this. If you have some ranged attacks, you can lock on the Omen right there, or the guy that we knocked down earlier. It's gonna deal with him. Otherwise, just drop down and kill this guy the normal way. Ow. Getting dunked on? That's not my heal. Oh! Didn't think the other one would wake up. Wait, are they fighting each other? Hold on. No, put me down. Don't retreat too far down this hallway either, because as awesome as fighting 2 at the same time is, it could be 3. Damn, I'm getting pieced up right now. Perhaps my worst performance to date. Alright. I would rate that battle a 9 out of 10. Mostly excellent. Could use slight improvement. Alright, grab all that stuff, get the prattling pate wonderful thing. What are these even called? I forgot. Is it over here? They're called prattling pates. I'm so dense. Alright, grab that, and then we got another arrow trap here, and this omen, he just kind of just stands there and takes it. It's a little sad, but after what his buddies just put me through, I don't feel as bad as usual for doing this. Down he goes. And then up the ladder we go. Let's deal with one final omen. No way. That's better. Get the page ashes, and then there's probably gonna be one more. Yes. Saw it coming a mile away, buddy. Pull the lever. Grab the old fangs. And then it's a little bit of a hike to get back to the Grace from here. And you know what? I'm just gonna gamble. We're just gonna head for the boss. But up that staircase and a little ways back, you'll find it. But that's the Grace. So it's gonna be another watchdog, or burial watchdog. Now you can frenzy these guys with 4 darts. This is a 1v1 situation, so that is not going to help us. But if you ever fight one of these guys with ads around, or they do appear later just like as normal enemies in Catacombs, then that can come in real handy. This one has this homing glintstone ability, and then slam does magic, but other than that it's like a standard fight with one of these things. Like really looking forward to you staggering here any second now. Please. I'm begging. Did I go the whole fight without doing this? There you go. Alright, so down he goes, get the Kaiden sellsword ashes. Probably. It's pronounced one of those 2 ways. And then you can warp back to Liurnia Highway North again. Alright, so I kinda just ran through all these enemies down here, and there's like 3 items to get. One of the corpses has a Lucerne, another one has some golden runes, and another one has some crystal darts. And then through that cave down there and around the corner to the right is a teardrop scarab that can get you a somber smithing stone too. I grabbed all that stuff just while I was running through in a previous episode, but if you didn't get it, feel free. The other thing about this area is I've always liked this for testing out spirit ashes, because there's just a big fight going on, so none of the enemies are particularly worried about like focusing on me particularly. I said that word twice, that's too much for one sentence. But you know, it's kind of cool with all the enemies around, no one's really a threat, and they're all distracted to just like let your spirit ashes go wild. So unless you can't summon it there anymore. I didn't see that. Okay, there we go. I didn't see the symbol pop up on the left. I was like, did they remove that for some reason? That'd be weird. Anyway, stay on Torrent running through here, and we're just gonna charge all the way up to the top of this tower to deal with the sorcerer. I missed the Golden Rune 4, but a ton of these phantom dudes will spawn in at the bottom, so not really trying to get overwhelmed and outnumbered. The Glintstone Craftsman's Cookbook 3. And the Carrion Glint Blade Staff. That's all for up here. Get a nice view. It's honestly the main reward because that was not a whole lot of loot, but can't win them all. Warp to Artist. Yeah, that makes sense. And then if you decided to be a baby last time and not kill this knight over here for the Dragon Cult Prayer Book, now's the time. Not really significantly stronger than the last time we ran through here, but you should have leveled up a few times by now. Probably quite a few weapon upgrades too, so he shouldn't be as bad. If I was able to thug it out the first time when I was weak due to Liurnia, then you can do it now. But once that's taken care of, taking on this Tibia Mariner, as you can see. Just running circles around our boy right now. I feel like this is the first time I've done this on horseback and it's going swimmingly, no pun intended. Down he goes. Should give us a death root here any second. Thank you very much. And the Skeletal Bandit Ashes. Those ones also, just like the Militiaman Ashes, they are skeletons, so you can abuse that mechanic where they have to be killed twice, finished off when they're on the ground. So, pretty solid, honestly. Even though they don't do anything too crazy in terms of damage, they can last a while against the right enemies. Now then, let's go to Eastern Tableland. Summon up the wolves. Grab a big stack of smoldering butterflies there. And the Flame Cleanse Me incantation, which would have been real helpful earlier. So that is one of those ones I feel like... I know it has a pretty low faith requirement. Thinking in the 12 to 15 range. Double check here in a second. But if you can stand to use one of your offhand slots for Finger Seal for pretty much the rest of the game, honestly, no matter what character I'm using, I pretty much always, 12 faith for that one as well. I pretty much always will just boost my character up to like 12 or 15 faith, just so I don't have to use the Faith Knot Crystal tier to be able to use some of these basic incantations, but this is going to alleviate status buildup and it's going to cure poison and Scarlet Rot after they do proc, which is huge. Poison, you know, it's more of a nuisance than like a real threat because it takes down so slow, but Scarlet Rot is no joke. That'll mess you up quickly. So, and you also don't want to be just chowing down on these preserving boluses all the time because they're not the most common item in the game. I wouldn't call them rare, but it's a shame to run out and not have a backup plan like that incantation. Anyway, once you have that, come over here, fight this lone enemy out in the field. Get the Briars of Sin incantation. You've actually seen that one used before by the Invader and Round Table Hold down in that like basement area. These fields with these flaming slugs are a good source of smoldering butterflies also if you ever need any. So now, that Tibia Mariner we just killed gave us the 4th death root of this playthrough if you've been following along. If you turned one in already, it's not a big deal, but if you're following the walkthrough exactly, we should have 2 in our inventory right now. So I'm going to warp to Bestial Sanctum. I'm going to give these death roots to Gronk. I mentioned this last time we were here, but hand them in one at a time if you want to hear all the unique dialogue he has to offer. Otherwise, just going to skip to like whatever, like the dialogue for whatever the... How do I explain this? What words do I need? If I give him both these, it's going to bring our total handed in up to 4. So he's just going to say what he would say on the 4th death root and skip over what he says on the 3rd one. So hand him in one at a time. Get the Bestial Vitality incantation from that one. On the 4th one, get the Ash of War, Beast's Roar. Now, after the 4th one, which that was, once you rest, reload the area in any capacity, he is going to turn hostile and try to attack you if you were standing in this room. Now, before I explain what to do about it, let me just throw this out there. If you just warp out of here now without resting or reloading, you can just deal with this later once you come back to turn in the 5th death root, which, quite frankly, will not be for a very long time. We're going to finish up Liurnia, do the Legacy Dungeon, Raya Lucaria Academy. We're going to go do Caelid. Like, it's going to be a while before we come back here again, and by that point in the game, you'll be a lot stronger, so it's a lot less of a threat. Since we do have the 4th death root now, though, I just figured I'd cover it now in case anyone got any funny ideas and tried to deviate from the walkthrough. So, essentially, all you have to do is damage him until he calms down, which, at this point in the game, you should be safe to throw pretty much everything you have at him without fear of killing him. I think he has like 10,000 HP or something. Like, it's a lot. So, and you can damage him however you like, including damage over time effects like poison, scarlet rot, and then you can also summon when he turns hostile. So the jellyfish can help proc poison. In fact, I'm just gonna throw them on. Actually, when you rest, you should. To be safe, make sure you break line of sight and are like behind this pillar, but you should chill for a bit until you like stand up, so you can throw on poison mist here if you'd like as well. And do I go into combat mode straight away? No, I don't. Perfect. Freezing pots also work. If I recall, I think just 2 of them. Let me make 3 just in case I miss one. I think 2 of these should proc Frostbite and will do a ton of damage to him. What else? What are other options here? Yeah, basically just lay into him. You don't have to worry about him turning hostile again right after he calms down due to the damage still ticking. If you do go with the poison method, he'll stay chilled out. And then, oh, the last like just nuclear method outside the giant gargoyle thing, it's called Blackblade Kindred. You can aggro it and it can help you out here. It's not going to be too keen on helping you out. Really, it's just like going to destroy everything in its wake, which is mostly you, but might accidentally be Gronk if you aim it right. So Gronk can't fit through these doors, which is kind of funny because sometimes he will just move outside to hang out, which means that he can, in fact, operate those doors if he wanted to. But the Blackblade Kindred has an attack specifically when it's holding its sword, not its halberd, where it will do a vertical slam that sends a shockwave forward. It hits really hard, since Dragon Barrow enemies are scaled really high, and it should put Gronk down in one swing. But then the downside, of course, is that you gotta deal with the gargoyle guy now, so that's no fun. Anyway, gonna summon these I forgot to put the seal back on. And drink the thing. Oh, rip the jellyfish. Poison mist should do it though. There we go. It is ticking. So, that poison will... Oh my god, I'm alive. I was so ready to just let out the deepest sigh of disappointment. After the poison's ticking, hide out here. Obviously a little further away from the door than I was. But all in all, it should do like 1,000 damage. And then he'll sit. Let me throw on the freezing pots too and confirm that theory that these mess him up as well. That was 1, 2. There you go. Huge chunk of damage. He goes down. Talk to him. See the poison's still damaging him, but he's not getting upset, so he's asked you to have mercy. Which is crazy, because he could sneeze at that distance and it would kill me. But then he can rest, and he will be calm again. And you can bring him the 5th death root whenever you acquire it, so... That's that taken care of. The wolves back on. And... honestly, I'm gonna wrap up here. I feel like it's a decent end. We have some more catacombs up ahead, and I just don't feel like starting that in the time that we have left. So, thank you for watching. Hopefully that was helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one.